Greetings, everybody. Tommy Rat here with another video with Pushead's Top 100 Hardcore Punk Record List Review. Okay, this is part 6 of that. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, comment, share this video. I talk about hardcore punk stuff, from the historical aspects, and also do other stuff like showing pro wrestling stuff, gameplay, and other comic and toy related stuff when I get the chance to do that. All right, so make sure you like this video when you're done with this. When you're done with it, okay? And also my book, be on the lookout for my book, Punk Rock Revolution. There's a link below to subscribe to a mailing list to be notified when it's going to come out. Okay? So, go in the description box below, check out the links below to do whatever you can to help out the channel, and click on the links, related to it. And don't mind any idle chatter that you hear in the background. It's all good. It's all good. So I don't live here alone. So, all right. So we're going to look over number. Okay. So right now, where are we at on this list here? Where did we leave off? Okay, we're at number 50. Neos, End All Discrimination. Now Neos were from Canada, I believe, and they broke up in 1983. Now I might have heard some songs off of this record, but I think their earlier stuff off their 7 inches was very. Yeah, I mean, they've all, everything I've heard from this band was very good. They're very good. They're pretty much like a hardcore. They were pretty much on the hardcore punk, thrashcore tip. They're very fast. Now, according to this release here, it said the descriptors are aggressive, energetic, raw, male vocalist, whatever that means. I named this record called End All Discrimination. Right now, we're just gonna jump over to number 49, The Instigators. I heard this band. It's not exactly an original name, and I'm not familiar with them. I'll be honest with you. I am not familiar with this band. Probably will be after this is posted on YouTube. Name of this record is called Nobody Listens Anymore. Let's find out about this band. Are they even... Okay, they've been around in England in 1980. I think some of these members were also involved with Sore Throat. I'm not sure if it was before or after. And the last release was in 1989. So I really, can't really talk much about this band because I don't have anything to talk about with them. All right, number 48, Social Distortion. It's a mainliner and playpen 7-inch. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I respect Social Distortion for whatever they did. They've been around since 1978, on and off. They got back together. I think they broke up for a while. Then they got back together. Got back together in the 90s. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with their history. I'll be honest with you. I remember seeing them. Oh, sorry about that. I almost slipped here. First time I saw them was over at 2+2 back in 1982. Back in '82, they were on the BYO tour. This is a little fun fact. And they were playing with bands like Youth Brigade, I think the U Brigade and I forget who else was on that tour, but yeah, that's like the BYO tour. That was the BYO tour. Now let me see some. Let me look. Let me look up some information on that because I might need to. Yeah, they were, and that they were on that. They were on the part of that another state of mind uh, that another state of mind uh, video that was out. That was out back in 1983, 82, 83. All right, I'm looking at some other stuff here. All right, someone got the. I had this record. Someone got their head kicked in. I think that was yeah. That was the compilation album that they were on. But I know I'm straying away from the subject a little bit. But let's get back to that release. Yeah, I don't really see this one. I'm not too familiar with. Mainliner, Playpad is familiar with that song, 1984, and and there was an incident that happened with Mike Ness at that show that they played at. But read more about it in my book. Okay, that's all I'm gonna tell you. Now, number 47, Black Flag, Jealous Again. This was the first Black Flag EP I got a hold of, and had Chavo singing, who was also whose real name was Ron Reyes. All these, like back in 19 this came out in 1980, 1981. I used to blast that on a boombox, play this all these all these people I used to work with on Manhattan Beach. They're like, these were like hippies that did not understand what I was into, and it blew them away. Back then, back then, used to do some, hilarious shit like when people that don't understand what the movement was about at all. So I remember this was like a 5 song, 12-inch, and I still have this record. And I believe this, and compare this record like Nervous Breakdown and Jealous Again, compared to their later stuff, it sounds a lot more, I don't know, not as distorted like some of the later stuff that they did. Anti system number 46, Anti System, No Laughing Matter. I'll be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with this release. And another band from England. They were around from 1982 to 1986, and their genres are considered anarcho punk, UK 82. I have no idea what that means. Tell me, somebody knows. Tell me. And crust punk. So that's pretty much all I know about this band because I'm not really too familiar with them. Now the Negative Effects album, that's number 45. Basically, this came out I believe after they broke up, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. Yeah, Tying Records released it. They were the ones that released it. I believe this might have been off demo tapes they had. Let me see, like their man history here. Actually, according to this, they broke up in 1984, and they were around since 1981. They were around like same time as SSD Control. Mm. But I don't think they never played New York to my knowledge. They never did. But I've heard more about them like from fanzines like Forced Exposure. They used that was a fanzine based out of the Boston area, and pretty much talked about those, pretty much showcased those bands. Otherwise, that's probably I wouldn't have heard of them. Of course, we know that Jack Kelly later formed. He was in later bands like Last Rites and Slapshot. 44 Battalion of Saints. Now they've been around 1978, but I don't know. I heard their song on the one song on the Better BYO compilation. Someone going to get their head kicked in. But I wasn't really too crazy about their other stuff. And I don't know. I think are they still together? I don't know. I don't know if they're still together or not. But I think they were still around. They were still around like since 2015. It seems like because they released something, an album in 2015, self-titled album called Battalion of Saints. I probably would have picked something. I probably would have picked a different. I probably would have picked that song off that. Let me see. Let me see that record over there. That record that they Fighting Boys. It was an EP called Fighting Boys. Not really familiar. Not really familiar with that. With that. Yeah. Not really familiar with that record. Yeah, I wasn't really familiar. I didn't even know they had a 7-inch out. So I just started looking at this list. Now, number 43, China White. You know what? I can't say nothing about them because I was never a fan of them. Was never a fan. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Now, number 42, Crucifix. Their Dehumanization album. Now, I remember when this record first came out, and they came over here and played CBGBs with AF. Now, some of these guys, got to hang out with some of these guys. I think Drew from America's Hardcore later played guitar with them after this record came out. I think America's Hardcore broke up by around that time too. And then didn't hear much of, and I think Drew left the band, and then Drew didn't really hear much about Crucifix after that. Drew was in that movie Suburbia. He was a cool guy that we hung out with, him and Matt, back at the 9C apartment back in the day, back in '83. Now let's see something. Yeah, they broke up in 1984. Yeah, actually, Seth Wright and Matt were like the only members on that record that were doing the tour. All right. All right, I'm looking for something here. Okay. All right. Let me get back to this release. I got to give you some more information on the release. Yeah, so it was released in 1983. All right, but it doesn't tell you who put the record out. But this was a nice record, like a 14-song record, which is pretty much the norm back in those days for a hardcore punk band to release a record. 14 songs, 7 songs on each side. Okay, now let's go back to the list here. Okay, now number 41 is English Dogs to the Ends of the Earth EP. I'm a little bit familiar with the English Dogs. I thought they were a good band. I mean, I'll be honest with you, not really. I think they actually had a cover song of Garland Jeffries' "Wild in the Streets." Well, this is a record I'm not. This is a record I'm not too familiar with either. To the Ends of the Earth. I'm not really familiar with this one either. So, all right. So, I mean, this list. I'm only being honest with you. What I know, what I don't know about this stuff. Maybe I might have had some different records. But if I did my own list, had some different records on here than what was within these 10 numbers. And listen, everybody's got their own, whatever floats your boat. Everybody's got their own taste in music. So that's all for now. That's all for now this week. So I thank everybody for watching.